Today's video is going to be based on 4-point stabilization using wood cribbing on a car on all 4 tires. One of the first things we have to consider before we do vehicle stabilization is chalking the tires on a car. In today's day and age, we have electric cars, hybrid cars, vehicles that shut their engines off when your foot is on the brake pedal for an X amount of time. So one of the biggest things that we have to do as we approach these vehicles, because we don't know if they're running or they're just sort of in sleep mode, is we have to chalk the tires. So in this scenario here, we've taken the tire chocks off of our rescue truck and we put them in front and back side of the tire. This is just a means of a little bit more safety for us until we can make entry into the car, get the car in park, get the ignition turned off. Once that's happened, we're going to do our 4-point stabilization. And right now on the other side of the car, we have our 2 points of stabilization there and our 3rd point here. But what we're going to get into today on why we set our cribbing up underneath the car for stabilization the way we have it done on the back. So what we try to do is get the 4x6, whether it's the 4-inch or the 6-inch, underneath the car, flush with the car, and our wedge is put underneath. So when we go to do that, and the reason why we go to do that is we always want to be pushing the ground or stabilizing where we're going to do a lift or a push off. So what we want to do most of the time is find the hinge set on the front. We want to slide that in as far as we can, pull it up, get your wedge in there, tap it in lightly. If you need to tap it in a little bit more, grab a sledgehammer and give it a little tap. We don't need to lift the car off the ground, we just need to stabilize it so that it doesn't rock. So now, if we had to do a dash roll or a dash lift, our force is going to go through the A-post straight into the ground on all 4 sides if we had to. We have the step chalk here. It's a great stabilization tool. It's not typically great for what we do here, and I'll show why. If we were to use this in this capacity, when we go to blow the door off or blow the fender out for a roll or a lift, we're going to constantly push this out of the way. And it's the same if it's up like this and you wedge it. Everything's going to come away from the car. We really can't have anything higher than the bottom of the car. So as we roll around to the other side of the car, we can see we're stabilized here. So on the other side of the car, guys, we have our 2-point stabilization here, which is completing our 4-point stabilization, which we talked about on the other side. Just a few points to consider when you're doing your stabilization. Obviously, like on the other side, we're coming down by the A-post in case we have to do that dash lift or our dash push, and we're making that contact through here. We have 2 pieces here, so obviously we can't fit a 4-inch by 6-inch and a wedge in there, so we have a 2x4 and a wedge. Remember, we have 6-inch wedges on the truck. If you can take up space just by using that 6-inch wedge and you don't have that pivot point with 2 pieces of wood being on top of each other, that's the better choice. You come to the back crib set and you'll see that how far the wedge sticks out on us. Now, that's a tripping hazard in our work zone. We just make everybody aware of it. It's something that we have to deal with, but with the thought process on like we did on the other side where we want to keep our cribbing flush so that we don't push this out when we pop this door, this is part of our work area. Also, it becomes a little bit easier for management when you have your stabilization guy. He can walk around and he can just re-tap and you have something to tap and you can just always monitor that your car is stable. So another question we feel a lot is how much do you crib based on the occupancy of the car? So in this scenario here or in this layout, say we just have the driver. So do we need to do 4-point, 5-point, 6-point stabilization? Down and dirty answer is no. We can keep our cribbing on this side flush the way we have it underneath the A-post on the front side of the rear tire, keeping our wedges in as tight as we can. Trip hazard in our area, yep. 1 point of stabilization underneath the B-post on the other side, so we have that 3 points of contact. So we basically have a triangle and it shouldn't rock. So what we're looking for is this vehicle is completely stable here, and we can go to action this door to get this person out. Hey guys, so another point we bring up with our stabilization is the popping of tires. It's something that we're not encouraging. You know, we can go around, we can monitor the crib with the sledge or kicking with your toe. When we do pop the tires, we slam the whole weight of the car down in our crib set, and that crib can't be moved at that point. Sometimes while we're doing our extrication, we may have to move cribbing in a different location to facilitate another move. So in this case, if this door was going to be a complete removal and we had to blow the B post out, for example, I can simply take the cribbing out of the rear location and I can slide it in underneath, so we're making our force into ground right underneath that B post. So again, guys, popping tires, 100% last resort. Let's just manage our cribbing and make sure the car is solid to the ground.